Yep.
Good, so that anyone that hasn't been here can listen back. So welcome everybody, and thank you so much for filling in a few words about where you're at and what you do. It kind of really helps me to kind of offer, directly like to you rather than just a blank canvas of talking. So today I am going to be talking about discovering your brand essence, and it's a topic I love, and it's a topic um, I am kind of quite militant about. So basically, discovering your brand is basic principles that will help you to narrow down and nail what it is that you do and what it is that you don't. And then from there, begin to branch out to everything that you do and how you express your business. So, a little bit about myself. I've been a graphic designer. Hi, Pascal. I have been a graphic designer pretty much all my life. I used to work in corporate for many years. Then I had some divine guidance, and it was time to integrate kind of my personal life, which was very spiritual and very alternative in some aspects, with my kind of commercial corporate side. And as I began to integrate those two worlds, I also began to realize that this alignment to the soul of my own brand was fundamental for people to really connect with me and to begin to attract the right people. So it was a transition of sorts, and it happens a lot, as business owners, we continuously evolve and change. It's not something that you just kind of do once and that's it. There are some foundational things that always kind of stay there. The essence of it, there's like a flavor of it that stays there. But as you evolve and change, it's really good to kind of adjust and feel again what it is that this brand essence is guiding you to root yourself in. And I use it a lot, and my clients love it when they go through the process. And I actually created a course for it because I realized it's a lot simpler if anyone can access this information, and they can benefit from it. And then they can DIY their website. I adjust their current website, commission someone to do their website. And also, it's very helpful for writing messages on emails, for expressing your brand on media posts, and just everywhere that your brand has a touch point, especially online or in person as well. So I'm going to share my screen in a moment, and of course, please ask questions. All questions are valid. Either put them in the chat or unmute yourself. It's like I'm not the television, so do dialogue with me. So, any questions so far, or any comments or shares? I think Mark is trying to come in, but Mark, are you here? Let's have a look. Oh yes, he's here. Well, lovely to have you, Mark. I can't see you, but if you want to join with your face, you're very welcome. Right. I'm going to share my screen. So today I'm going to talk about discovering your brand essence. And today is all about activating and embodying your brand. And this is something that, it kind of comes with time, how you embody your brand and how, as a business owner, you hold the frequency of your brand at all times. So these are kind of foundational principles for expressing your soul brand. And this touches a little bit on what I've just said, how you express this thing you do, whether And it's not the modality, it's not kinesiology or aromatherapy or design, it's more the expression of the essence of this thing you do when you're interacting with people or when you are offering your gift of service. So knowing your brand essence helps you with creating resonance, alignment, and consistency at all the touch points of your online presence. And this resonance is something that happens when you begin to attract the right people, and also when you begin to repel the people that are not aligned with what you do. And this repelling is really important as well. It's part of knowing and trusting that these people that we are repelling or not super aligned with are going to be beautifully served by somewhere else. Yeah. And so this alignment that you can create, it gives you all the consistency that you need, and everything becomes a lot easier when you're expressing this soul brand of yours. So your soul brand is how your business expresses itself in the marketplace. And it's also the way others perceive your business. So it's a very interactive relationship, yeah? It's not that you're just kind of putting things out there and they just sit there. Of course, they go into the matrix. There's like, you know, a frequency of that, and then it gets picked up. But there's also people coming to this frequency. There's also people being attracted by this thing that you do. So your soul brand is kind of, to get to the soul brand, you get to it by, you know, peeling layers. Because sometimes we just stay here in the head and we think, oh, you know, I know what my business is all about, or I've just qualified, now I am a kinesiologist and aromatherapist, let's get a website done. Boom, some photos, some text, done. But really there's kind of a layer of a process to be done before, which is getting to the true core of this thing you do. And also a lot of people, when they get to do the thing that they really love, which maybe took a little bit of time to get to, is like, it's kind of sitting there. And because it's been sitting there for a while, it feels like, oh, I know what I want to be saying. But really, sometimes, you know, just going in and journeying in is what gives you sometimes answers that you don't really expect. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, okay. And sometimes those answers also come from the feedback that people give us, you know, either it's testimonials or things they say that we don't say about ourselves. So that's why I was talking about the connection and how people perceive you as well, is this interactive thing. You know, sometimes people describe me as very warm and friendly and also very firm. I would have never described the work I do as that, but it's like a common thread of words they use. I'm not saying I have to use those words, but what I'm saying is that incorporating that feedback and taking it on board is also like, you know, feeding into the soul brand and these seeds that you have inside of you. So basically, it's creating resonance and connection. Is this making sense so far?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Right. There's something in the chat. Let's have a quick look. Oh, okay. Lovely. Thank you, Mark. Right. So when you are rooted in your brand essence, everything becomes easier. I mean, it sounds really simplistic, but it really is. I mean, I find that when clients and I myself understand and remember, because sometimes we forget, right? We just get kind of carried away by what everybody else is doing. When you are rooted in this essence of your brand, of your soul brand, which is related to your mission, it's related to your vision, and it's related to your gift of service. When you're rooted here, it's very easy to choose images. It's very easy to write words. It's very natural to communicate with people about what you do. So I'd love to invite you to do a very short meditation with me, if that's okay, about rooting yourself in your brand essence. So if you'd like to close your eyes. And just find a comfortable position wherever you are sitting or lying down. And just using the breath to bring presence inside of you. And relaxing. You may want to place your hands on your belly or on your heart if you wish to bring some presence with a physicality. And we're moving the energy away from the head towards the body. And beginning to connect with this thing that you do. Your gift of service. And it can be abstract or it can be fairly clear. Just the feeling, the felt sense of you doing your thing, being of service. And connecting to the joy of when it's going really well and it flows and feels very easy. Your unique medicine, what you bring, what's been given to you. The unique thing that only you can do. The way you do it, no one else can do it. And allow for this vibration, this frequency inside of you to kind of take space and relaxing in that. You know, it's like allowing it to travel through you, the inner you. And resting in this. and acknowledging your frequency, your thing, your gift, tending to it. And rooting yourself in whichever best way you know how to do that, rooting this energy in you. And when you're ready, coming back to the pool and opening your eyes. You're very welcome to share, comment, insights, questions. Please simply unmute yourself. Yes.
I found that really interesting, actually, because I just very clearly sort of, I mean, it wasn't tangible at all, but I really felt like this light coming in, and I really felt like I could see myself merging with clients, like a soul merge, and actually being able to take on board all that they are, and actually then being able to sift through, and like a sort of like a light, the light seemed to be like a light bulb moment of pinpointing a whole range of things. I saw how to say, like a web, or like, you know, when glass sort of shatters but everything comes to a central point, sort of being able to see, bring all those threads together to like a light bulb moment is what I could see. It was really an interesting experience to feel that and see it in my mind's eye,
Mm.
a way that I hadn't been clear about before.
Mm. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Well, for me, I just had I actually had an experience just before coming on the call, which I was able to sort of enjoy, you know, that moment of feeling aligned and actually feeling like I'm connecting with, as you were saying earlier, the right people, and the right people that see my business the way I do as well. And it just was my experience from the meditation was very much warming and solidifying. For me, it was quite visceral. That was my experience.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I just had, when I was sitting here with you, I just had so much joy. It was like, woo, this excitement that kind of brews in me. It's interesting because sometimes I forget the excitement. I forget that I love these. And just doing these today, it was quite, it's like, oh yeah, I do get excited about these things, these projects and websites and all of these. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to share my screen again. So this is something that obviously is not exhausted. It's just a reference, but when you have clarity about your soul brand, you begin to understand that your brand essence can feed and inform different things. So it will inform the words that you use to describe your work. It will infuse the images that you intentionally create. So it will infuse, the photos that you are going to be creating if you're going to a photo shoot, or the photos that you're going to be choosing if you're going to a stock library, or you even take some photos yourself, or, it's like the quality of the images that you choose are aligned with this felt sense of what your brand is and what your brand isn't. it also begins to feed into the natural rhythm of your speech and your writing. It's like that becomes really clear. It also goes towards the marketing messages that you use in your business. Of course, it influences the look and feel of your website. And also it helps you create the atmosphere that you want to create in your business. This is something I always discuss when I'm talking about websites. You know, the atmosphere that you would be creating in person, if you are working in person with clients, you want to replicate that same atmosphere on your website, so that this website that is between you and client is almost like, yeah, hey, I'm still here on this website, you know, welcome to my atmosphere, welcome to my world. And for those that are not very graphically orientated and they like bullet points, this is similar to what I just said. So your brand essence informs the marketing messages that you use consistently in your business. It also informs your tone of voice, your color palette, of course, the images that you create and the images that you choose, the vibration of your messaging, and also the things you don't do. And having that clear distinction is a little bit what we said before, and I'm going to show you in a moment what are the things that I don't do with my brands. So in essence, what you're doing is, as a business owner, you are holding this brand essence in you, and you need to almost activate it to keep it alive, so that it's kind of being shown and expressed in everything that you do. So I go into more depth in the process of embodying your brand in the course that I created, and I'll give you the links later on if you're interested in going further into this journey. So these are some of the elements that weave into embodying your brand. So we've just looked a little bit into what's the brand essence, and we looked a little bit into the unique gifts that you bring. It's also good to, you know, if you are going to use this process, you can simply meditate and, you know, clarify what your gifts are. And if you have like a modality, like I said before, it's not kinesiology. Kinesiology is not the gift. The gift is something else, you know, and it's linked to your vision, which is something I haven't talked about today at all. It's linked to the brand atmosphere that I've just mentioned a little bit, you know, how you welcome and hold people, what kind of atmosphere you create. And then it's also very much linked to the ideal client, the people that you really want to be connecting with and serving and talking to, yeah, because that's going to be the most beneficial for both you and clients, and for the benefit of all, really. So this is, I'm kind of jumping forward if I was going through the course, Embodying Your Brand. So these are some of the words that I kind of have in my kind of toolkit to activate my brand whenever I just need to. And sometimes I have them as post-it notes before, you know, you can just write them down and do the little graphic yourself. And this came mostly from either the meditations, from analyzing projects that I've done, from receiving feedback. You know, all of these things, it's almost like you have to do a little bit of detective work and inner work. They come through as you investigate. It's a little bit of intel that you do on your own business, and it's the way that you can tend to your brand and begin to form clarity about it. So, for example, I wouldn't be using all these words every single time. You know, sometimes I would use, you know, like intuitive and, you know, receptive and patient. You know, and other times it calls for, you know, being very rooted in practicalities and simplicity. Sometimes, you know, it calls for being friendly or for being loving. So these words, they don't need to be working together all the time, or it's not like, oh my God, I've got to communicate all of these when I'm doing a blog post. But they are mostly for you to return to your own frequency, to remember, what am I here for? Yeah, what am I doing? What are the skills, that I'm bringing, and how am I communicating these to other people? How can I put these, onto written words or images? I mean, are there any words that are coming up for you? I'd love to hear if you have any words that are coming up. Just stop sharing. As we do this.
I think I need to steal one of your words that just I kept staring at, which was intuitive. So we may have a crossover there.
Oh, totally. Steal them all. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, when I think when inside the course, there's a very long list of suggestions of words. And I mean, of course, it's not the only words, but yeah, please steal them if you're
Thank you. I might just steal that one.
Yeah,
add it to my own.
you're being inspired. Any more words? We were just looking at words that inspire my brand, Christine. I think you just dropped off.
I think I'd probably choose a few of your words, actually. It's interesting when you see them in front of you, that it's how they actually sort of trigger thoughts and think, yeah, that's me, or oh no, that's not me.
Very good. And there's other brands, when we work together with clients. Tanya, you probably know a little bit about these. Some other brands are more innovative. I don't have that, I'm not kind of like into innovation. I mean, I've got obviously my own point of views. Some other brands are more blingy, more like luxurious or prestigious. Some other brands are more leaning back, they're more, not so forward moving. Some other brands are very forward moving. They're very kind of imposing and almost loud, but it kind of suits the brand. It suits the business owner and it suits what they do. So, don't be scared of, trying to be something that you're not. It's almost as if I tried to be, expensive or, like a luxurious brand. I'm not a luxurious brand, and it doesn't resonate with me, and it doesn't resonate with my clients either. I resonate very much with clients that are more, I mean, they can be luxurious themselves, but my language can't be luxurious or too posh, basically. It's more, my language is more practical, simple. It touches on the mystery, the spiritual, and all of that is like a weaving. And as you own a brand and as you own a business, as a business owner, this is, the layers that kind of make up your routing. And once that is clear, it's a lot easier to execute any piece of communication, basically. Yes, Tanya.
Going to say something maybe slightly off topic. What I love is your font, how your font really expresses that. And because it's something I've been playing with on my website, and then I might cut and paste from another part, and like all of the the spacing is different, and it's anyhow. So, and I'm aware of how important having even just the font and the writing is as well.
Their font, yes. Their font. I totally agree, like 100%. Yes. I mean, that font that I use on my website is a love at first sight, and it's a long love affair. And it's a very well-designed, old timer. It's been around for ages. And I still can't believe that I still use it, but it's a very, yeah. It's just very me, that font. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because my website is a WordPress website, if you know platforms. And I have tried to move it to Squarespace. They have a similar font, but it's not quite right. So I haven't done it. Like the font is not quite right. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Any more comments or questions? This is lovely to hear. Yes, Tanya.
I think for me, as what I've done is evolved, I'm kind of having this crossover, I suppose, as I've evolved and embodied my brand more, but it started to expand, and now there's something new coming through, and this is what I'm experiencing, this kind of crossover, and maybe there is a lack of clarity because I've still got to work that out. Yeah.
I mean, I read what you wrote on your form. Is it okay to share a bit about the?
Yeah.
So it's basically, you are considering, do I need two websites, because you've got these new arms and legs thing. You use that expression and I loved it. And then there's all these other stuff that you've been doing before, but also has had its own evolution. I mean, as a small business owner, that, we are multitasking, life and clients and homes and things. I'm always quite an advocate for people to have just one website. And these days, websites are very powerful. They can sell things, they can have the email marketing integrated, they can have, all your basic spaces like, home services. So for practicalities, I would advocate one website, but also the question that I would have to sit with in your case would be, is it all coming from the same source? Is it all, the same root?
That's what I learned it is, but I feel that some of my work may fall away, my more one-to-one stuff may fall away as my other work comes in, and I think this is part of the transition that's happening.
Yeah. So if it is the same root, then you have an umbrella brand that has these arms and legs, but the umbrella is the overarching one unified experience of the brand. Even if you have teachers or other people working with you, if you become an organization, there's an overarching umbrella feeling, for the brand.
Yeah. I mean, before I became completely self-employed, I worked for a community organization, and it's like that core value, and to always return to that. Is this aligned with that?
Yes.
And that's.
And your soul brand is very much in alignment with your values. Yes.
Yeah.
That's something I haven't talked about today, but yes. And once you've got that, it's really quite simple. I know I'm kind of trying to, I'm insisting on that, but it really is. And so all the pages become obvious and everything else becomes, very doable. Oh, you're very welcome.
I mean, my takeaway as well is that once you find those descriptors, those descriptive words to define your soul brand, it almost gives you allow yourself to assume, it's bizarre, not assume the role, but accept the branding, accept who you are. And I think for me, when I started off, it was more about, well, how can I convince others that I can help them? So I was constantly trying to think, well, what do people need to see? What do people need from me? And I was looking outside at myself, which sort of reverse engineering it, rather than really being very clear about what it is I am offering. Yes. And how I should appeal to, as you say, the right clients. What do I need to share about what I do and about who I am that people need to understand in order to feel attracted to me. It's like having the light on, but covering it up. The light's on, but I'm not reaching anybody. Does that make sense when I talk about tangibility earlier as well? And then once you understand that, and I feel like I'm gently moving into that zone,
Yes.
all of a sudden I can now be expansive and take up my space, my website, everything that I do and represent should be to my most ambitious, if that makes sense. And then it becomes the right sort of spiral and expand to attract the right people. Am I using words that make sense to you?
Totally. Yeah. So when the brand essence is clear, it's almost like you have freedom. Your creativity is like, whoa, playground.
Yeah.
And can expand within, because you've got a container. It's like, you know what you're doing. Yeah. Thank you for that. Any more? Okay, I'll just share my screen for the final bit. So yes, by all means, use some of these words if they inspire you. So just to kind of, bring it all together, the soul brand supports the way you show up online, and it supports the way you show up in person when you're talking to people or when you are, posting something. It's the way you communicate your thoughts and share your insights, and it's the way that others perceive your business. This is like a little recap of what we've been looking at. And so if you're interested in working with me, there's a couple of courses. Of course, Embodying Your Brand, which is what, we've been doing a little bit of that today. And I've got a coupon code that I'm going to post in the chat in a minute if you want to get a little discount on the course. And there's also Plan and Create Your Brand photo shoot. This course is a lot more practical. It helps you to plan the photo shoot and go confidently, knowing that, all your images and your photos and your clothes and your locations are going to be aligned with the essence of your brand. Then there's Just Fresh from the Oven, 1 week Radiant website. I'm very happy with these. Basically, it's 1 week. It happens in 1 week. You provide the copy and the photos, and we build your website from a beautiful template that I've designed, and it has a couple of options. This is for very affordable, is for people that want to be up and running, quickly, basically, and it's all done for you, all the tech. And then the starter website design for those that want to go a bit deeper, want to hang out with me for about 10, 11 weeks together. And those that need a complex integrations, like lots of arms and legs, borrowing Tanya's words, they go to Ascended Website Design. So is there anything else? These are the 2 courses that I've just mentioned, and I am going to post the links in the chat in a minute. You can ask any questions you like as well whilst I'm doing this. Right. So this is where you find the courses, and if you use this coupon code, you'll get 50% off. No, not 50% off, £50 off, apologies. Oh, it's trying to give me a capital, so I'm going to change it to lowercase. There we are. Say lowercase, please. So that's where you get your £50 off if you enter that coupon for either of the courses if you're interested. And of course, my website, you can find me there for anything. If you want to book a clarity call, talk to me, you know, about moving forward and working together. Any questions before we go off, or comments or insights? Lovely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you all here. I always like to get a little peek into people's businesses behind the scenes. Hope to see you soon, all of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Nora.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Nora. It's
You're
good to
very
see you
welcome.
again.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Tanya.
Thank you.